Hey guys, it's Eagle back again with another episode of Nomifactory. In the last episode, we continued preparing ourselves by collecting more materials that we are going to need to progress into the LV age. The goal today is firstly going to be making that primitive blast furnace we talked about, completing all the prerequisite quests to allow us to do so. So with introductions out of the way, let's hop right into it. Thanks to a tip from a commenter in the last episode, they recommended that I make a backpack or a satchel. So I have that up here. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how I missed it. It's in the quest book, if you see right here. It's very simple, it's very high up too, so I'm really surprised I missed that, I'm not gonna lie. I'm big into backpacks and modded Minecraft, so I think what we're gonna do to start off is make a couple of those. I think we have everything we need right here. There we go, 2 satchels. Let's see what they got. Okay, not too bad. Looks like they got 9 extra inventory slots. That's not too bad. That'll help us not have to make as many trips when we do our mining. And kind of piggybacking off of what I just said, I just wanted to take a minute to thank you guys that have been watching, and definitely want to thank you guys for commenting. There's been a lot of good reception on these past couple videos, and I'm hoping that I can continue to make stuff that you guys like to watch. So go ahead and keep those comments coming. They really do help me. They really do help me a lot, and I read all the comments, and I try to respond to as many as possible. So yeah, so let's go. And I think what we're gonna do first, now that we've completed that, let's complete this, claim our Nomi nickel, and let's work our way down this fluid transport, because that's gonna be one of the things we need to do before we can start going. Looks like we need some conduit binders, which takes a lot of clay, a lot of sand, and a lot of gravel. I have a feeling we're gonna need this in a decent amount, because I think we also need that to make the fire bricks. No, that just takes brick dust and clay dust. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that right now, but let's go ahead and get ourselves as much conduits as we need, because I think we need the conduit binder for this quest as well. So let's go ahead and go mine up some stuff that we're gonna need. I made the iron excavator, which is, I wish I would have known about it a little bit earlier, because it made my life very simple in comparison. So I'm going to grab the things that we need to make a lot of conduit binder, and then I'll get back to you. All right, and we are back after gathering some of those materials that we needed. We can go ahead and grab our conduit binders out of here that we smelted. Got a decent amount of them. Also smelting some coal, because I'm starting to need some more. But we got a good amount of conduit binders. I think that'll last us for a while, and thankfully it's not too bad to make more, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, now that we have that, let's check what we need to do with it. Firstly, fluid transport. Do I need it for that? I do. So let's get some pressurized fluid conduits from Ender.io, which just takes glass and conduit binders. Okay, so let's just make a few of them. I'm not going to make that many of them. Let's just make half a stack, just because I'm not sure, and it's not that expensive. Okay, so looks like we got that completed. Boom. Very good. Now, infinite water source. What do we need for this? Okay, so this is a little bit more pricey. We're gonna need 2 buckets full of water and 6 wrought iron plates. We might have the necessary wrought iron to do it. It looks like we do. Okay, so we got those 6. Let's grab 6 pieces of iron and turn that into some buckets. Don't even tell me that's not how you make buckets. Okay, not great so far. Bucket. Oh, of course it takes iron plates. Of course. Okay. Well, that's okay. That is okay. Okay. Well, should have known it wasn't going to be that easy. Put that back in there. Hammer. Boom. 2 buckets. No big deal. Starting to get the hang of some of this crafting. I need to double check every crafting recipe so I don't do something like that again. Let's go ahead and fill these up with some water, I think. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I don't know what we're going to need this infinite water source for. I assume it has something to do with the steam dynamo. Just like a way to make power early. So we'll kind of read the quest book and see. Okay, cool. So it didn't consume the bucket, so that's nice. We got that done. Feeding a steam dynamo with water by hand is a pretty silly idea. An infinite water source will take care of that for you, albeit slowly. Okay. All right. So it's basically saying that, yeah, this is just like a way to get early game power. Okay. So to make this steam dynamo, it looks like we're going to need... Oh, wow. Okay. So this is quite a lot. If I don't need to do this, I do need it for the LB power. Okay. Well, before we get going on the steam dynamo, because that looks like it's quite a bit of crafting, I want to get going down this line and complete some of this quest. I think that steam dynamo will be the last thing that that we'll make before making this completing this LV power quest. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the conductive iron conduits. And this just takes 1x conductive iron wire. Okay, not too bad. 1x conductive iron wire, already have that, very nice. So all we have to do, put that in there, put the conduit binder in there, and bada boom, we can make 15 conductive iron energy conduits. Not too bad. I think that's a pretty good start. I have a feeling we're going to need to make quite a bit of those in the early game, but we'll see. Okay, there we go. Another Nomi nickel down. Now, I wanted to complete this cables quest just because it seemed easy and I figured why not. The most basic cables, such as these red alloy cables, can be wrapped in their rubber insulation by hand. More advanced types of cables will require an assembling machine and liquid rubber. Okay, well that seems like it's far down the line, but it's just asking us to craft 12 of these 1X. So it just takes rubber sheet and a red alloy wire. It shouldn't be too bad. I don't know if I have enough red alloy for that. Yeah, I know for a fact I do not, but I have a decent amount. I have a decent enough amount at least to craft some of it. I think that's how you make the wire, or is it on this side? That's how you do it. Okay. So we got 8. So we need 4 more, which means we need to make 8 more. Yeah, red alloy dust because a plate is 2 pieces. Okay. Let's find some coal. Let's split this up. Should go by super quickly. Oh, I gotta grab it, don't I? Probably need that. Okay. And we'll get more efficient ways of doing some of this stuff later on, so it's not going to be as grindy. But I figured I'd show you kind of this early game crafting and kind of how this is, what it's going to be like for the future. Or hopefully what it's not going to be like in the future, I should say. All right, that's done. Let's go ahead and go back in here. Feed it back in here. There we go. 4 of them bad boys. Hit cancel. Put the wire cutter back in there. There we go. We got 8. And we got enough rubber sheets, so I think all we have to do is put it in here with a rubber sheet, and then we can pull out all 12 of our 1X red alloy cable with the rubber casings on it. It says we completed it. Okay, so Looks like there's quite a lot of information here that we could dive into, and I won't bother reading that to you guys. I'll try to learn it off camera, but it's there if you want to pause and look at it. Okay, so here's what we need to do. Electronic subcomponents. I cannot make that yet. So it looks like it wants me to get steel first, and then I can craft these. Okay, so it wants the primitive blast furnace first. Let's go ahead and finally see what it is we're going to need for this. To complete the quest, we're going to need 1 steel, which I have a feeling that I found a piece of steel on one of my journeys earlier. But let's look at the blast furnace. Okay, we're just going to put that in there. I have a feeling we're going to need to remember that. Okay, so we need the fire bricks, which is taking the fire brick clay dust, which it looks like we get 16 from a brick dust and a clay dust. Let's look at that recipe. Let's head over here. Okay, fire clay dust. Let's see how the brick dust is made. Looks like it's just bricks and an iron mortar. Thankfully, I have this all prepared, so we don't have to worry about gathering it. I have all this stuff ready to go. So we'll just go ahead and put this in here with the wrought iron mortar and grab 32 brick dust is probably fine for now. Let's put the clay in there. Get 32 of that. I have a feeling we're going to want to make more, so we'll see how much this gives us. The iron dust, we don't need that yet. The fire clay. Okay, so that was going to give us this is giving us a lot. Oh Lord. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Do I have to make this into anything specific? Okay, so that gave us 8 stacks of fire clay dust. I am not going to complain. I hope that stretches pretty far. Okay, so looks like we just got to smelt the fire clay into the fire bricks. So let's take 16. I'll have to get some more coal, and I'll load up all these furnaces with 2 stacks of fire clay dust, and then I'll get back to you whenever all that's done smelting. Okay. Fire bricks all done. Go ahead and collect our 8 stacks of that. And I think, let me double check. I think I can just craft all of these fire bricks into the block form. And then we're off to the races. So let's make 2 stacks of fire bricks. Now I'm hoping that this is going to allow me to make more than 1 primitive blast furnace. I'm not going to do it until I know that I'm going to need it. I'm not sure what all is needed out of the primitive blast furnace. So if it's only a couple things and it's kind of just like a precursor to getting into the machines, then I may not make 2, but I may just do it anyway, just because one of the main things that's made me want to play Greg Tech is the multi-blocks. I'm a big fan of the multi-blocks. I always thought that was cool. And any modded Minecraft pack that had multi-blocks, I was all over it. I love multi-blocks. So I think what we're going to do is start by making 2 of these primitive blast furnace controller type things. And it looks like all it's going to take is a lot of iron and then 1 fire brick. So let's go ahead and do this. We need to make 2 iron plates. Easy enough. 2 iron plates. Very nice. And one thing I did realize, and I've talked about doing this in the past few episodes, I'm going to expand this base a little bit and then move some of the storage around so I can make more of these recipes locked. Yeah, I want to do something for all the iron that we're going to need and all the other various dust and stuff that we're going to need to craft multiple times. So I think that's going to save me some time. I'm going to wait to do that until I'm ready to place down the blast furnaces because I want to put them inside. I don't know if that's going to be a thing that's possible, but I think it would be really cool to have a room off our base that's going to have those in them. But anyway, back to crafting. Let's make... Okay, so we're going to need 6 iron rods, which we just take a file and an iron ingot. And we need 6 of them. I have a feeling I'm going to need to make more because I think that these screws come from bolts, which then come from rods. So rods make 2. Okay, and then we want to take the bolts into the screws. Do we need 4 of them? Yes, we are going to need to make 4 of them in order to make 2. So we need to make 2 more sets of these. Very good. And because we used our rods, we're going to need to make more. How many do I have? I have 2. So I need 4 more rods than I originally thought. And all that should allow us to make 2 primitive blast furnaces. So very nice. So I know we have a lot of fire bricks here, and I'm pretty sure we're not even going to come close to using half of what we have in our blast furnaces, but I'm excited to place these multi-blocks down. However, before we do that, you can notice here that I have a little cutout in the wall, and that's because I want to extend our base out that direction underneath this cave. Now, the goal is to dig out all of this underneath of here and then bring it back. Now, eventually, I'm going to want to expand upwards, I think. I think that would look cool. We'll kind of turn this walkway into the foundations of our base. But for the time being, our little rundown cave base is going to stay like that until we decide that it's time to move on. And I think you know what's going to change and what's going to happen to prompt us to do that. I think the plan now, we're ready to place down these multi-blocks. I need to do a repair on my hammer so I can mine all this stuff out. I got that diamond in between the last 2 episodes because I knew I was going to need to be repairing this hammer. Okay, so let's go ahead and start chopping away at this, and I'll get back to you when I think I've gotten it to the right size. And here we are. Had the space dug out. I even added a couple windows, and I really like the vibe and the light that it gives. Now, I know we'll be able to create some more sophisticated lighting later on, but this is what we got right now. And with the shaders, I think it adds a really cool element to this. If you see here, I kind of laid out where I want to put the blast furnaces and their configuration. I don't know if it is a 3x3. So I'm going to try that. I think some of them could be a 3x4 block tall, but we're going to start with a 3x3. And I believe it's just the base. And then you leave one in the middle open. And then we put the controller. Okay, so that didn't work. Is it 4 high? Let's see. Aha. Okay, so it's 4 high. That's fine. We got 1 primitive blast furnace done. Look at that. Let's go ahead and get the second one made. You know, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I almost want to add 1 more block in between them. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I don't know if I think I might have just messed up. Okay, no. I thought for some reason it said that I couldn't break it with the hammer. So I freaked out. Let's move everyone over. Right there. And should be good. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. And we'll do the same thing with this one and move it over a block. Got dark in here all of a sudden. I don't know what happened. Cover this all up. Okay, so it takes a little bit more fire bricks than I thought, but like I said, it looks like I still have enough to make almost another 2 probably. I don't know exactly the amount, but it's a good chunk of it. Put down lighting here. All right, there we go. Got the primitive blast furnaces all set up and ready to make some steel. Now that we have these primitive blast furnaces made, I think it's time we get into it and make ourselves some steel. Okay, so let's go ahead and check the quest book here. To make some steel, it looks like we're going to need to use some wrought iron, which conveniently I'm already making. Don't say I'm not prepared, because I'm ready to go. Got 2 stacks of wrought iron here. We'll just split this. I don't know how much coal it's going to need, but we're going to go ahead and throw in the coal, throw in the wrought iron, watch this thing go. Now, I noticed that it's throwing some smoke up. I don't know if that's going to be an issue, but we'll deal with that when it needs to be dealt with. But for right now, I think it looks pretty cool. So I'll just call that there. It looks like we're making some steel. Once we get our first one, boom. Primitive steelworks. Let's go ahead and complete that. And it looks like all we need left to make our foyer into LV power is to make the steam dynamo. And I remember looking at this and it was kind of a crazy recipe. So I think while we have this turning into steel for as much as we can, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start crafting the steam dynamo. Now we have the fun task of making our steam dynamo. So let's go ahead and check what it's going to take here. Okay, so let's start with the easiest things that we can make. Okay, let's start with the iron furnace and the copper plates, so that shouldn't be too bad. Let's grab enough cobble to make ourselves a furnace. And take some of this iron. Looks like we need some more. And turn that into iron furnace. Very nice. Do I have any copper in here? I sure do. I do not have the copper plate recipe saved, but that's all right. Easy enough to make. Put that in here. 2 copper plates. Okay. And what is next? Looks like we need wrought iron gears. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, this is going to take 4 plates, 4 rods. So we're needing 4 times 2 is 8. Add another 4, 12. But we need 2 of them, so we need 24 wrought iron. And it looks like we have just enough. Perfect. Okay, so let's make these. Right, we need 8 of them. We also need to make the recipe for the bar or the rod. I thought it was that, but I guess it's it's a file. Okay, well that would explain that. Where is the file? There we go. Cool. Very cool. Nice. Now we got to make the wrought iron gears, move those bad boys over to wrought iron gears. Very nice. What else do we need? We need a redstone transmission coil. And this is where that silver is going to come into play. I only have a few of it. I actually haven't found a silver vein yet. That's something that I'm going to want to obviously get going, so I have a little backlog of that. But I think just because it takes one, we should be good to craft that. Okay. Oh, there we go. 3 silver. Boom. Let's go ahead and turn that into the 3 silver rods that we're going to need. And then from there, I'm just going to manually craft it because I remember. Oh, and there we go. Transmission coil. Okay, so we're getting close. I think we only need one more thing. This isn't as bad as I was originally thinking it was going to be. Excitation coil. Okay, here we go. So this one, we need 2 redstone conductance coils, which is going to take 3 gold rods each. So we need 6 gold rods. Let's make ourselves 6 gold rods. Okay, got our 6 gold rods. And then we're going to need to turn those into that. Then we're going to need red alloy plates, which I don't have any red alloy. Would you look at that? But what we can do is make this. And we made 8 of them. That's only going to make us a little bit of it. But we need to make some copper dust then. So we need 2 copper dust. Then we can make this. And 10 should be the perfect amount. So let's go ahead and grab these, put them in the furnace, collect the rest of this wrought iron, silver, and gold that I was smelting in preparation for this. Doesn't look like we're going to need it yet, but just go ahead and let that smelt. And I think we're getting pretty close to having everything we need. Okay. There's all 10. Not too bad. Now we gotta put these in here. 5 plates. Now lastly, make our excitation coil. And our final step, we can craft put everything in here, steam dynamo. Perfect. Now that we have the steam dynamo done, that's just one less thing we have to worry about. Let's go ahead and collect that quest. Boom. Okay. Now, I don't know what we're going to use this for yet. I might do a little bit of experimenting off camera, and maybe next episode I'll have it figured out what exactly I'm going to need. Because I have a feeling that's going to be the first power generation we're going to have to start powering our LV machines. Which, speaking of, all we have left to do before we can craft that is make these subcomponents. So let's go ahead and check this out. We need 2 resistors, 2 vacuum tubes, and a circuit board. Let's see what we're going to need for that. Looks like it's fairly simple. Let's go ahead and save that recipe. And the vacuum tubes, save that recipe, and the circuit board, save that recipe. Now it looks like it's just gonna be a little bit of crafting. So I think what I'm gonna do is go through off camera, make sure I have all the materials that I'm gonna need, and then do a little bit of a crafting montage of me crafting those stuff. All right, now that we have that quest completed, let's go ahead and collect our Nomi quarter and keep on progressing to your first circuit. Looks like we're going to need a steel plate and electronic circuit. Let's start with that steel plate. Got plenty of steel in here now. Make our steel plate. Very nice. That part's complete. And let's check this electronic circuit out. And we should have all the necessary ingredients that we're going to need to craft our LV tier electronic circuit. As soon as I get everything in there. And the plate. The electronic circuit. All right, let's go ahead and complete that quest as well. Very nice, very nice. And that looks like it's gonna set us up to make our first LV component, I would say, our first block, the LV energy converter. Now, this is where things are gonna really start kicking into gear. We're gonna start getting into the energy conversions and have to start learning about the amps and the power outputs of all these different things. We got some literature here we can read and learn about. And let's go ahead and see. Looks like we're gonna need quite a bit here. But I think this is a good place to stop. We've got a lot done today. We are about as prepared as we could possibly be to jump into the LV age. So without further ado, I want to thank you guys for watching again. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving on this series so far, so keep that up. I'm still always open for suggestions on what to do and where to proceed, so I'm excited for where this is going to go. I've never really done anything like this before, like I've said in the past, but having a lot of fun with it. So really going to start getting into the actual Greg Tech type things now, so fun. All right, well, I guess that's all I got. Peace.